compost. So anyone who knows me knows that I am like a huge proponent of amending your soil, just like the clay soil. The house that I moved into here in Skokie, it was significantly clay. And I must say, I spent a good 5 years really trying to amend the soil. I did mostly compost that I made. You can buy compost if you have larger areas, and leaf mulch. I would mulch and mulch and mulch every year my leaves and try to really work on my soil. If I mean, you can buy the best, most beautiful plants, but if your soil is just hard clay, standing water, or some people have the opposite problem where I have a customer that lives kind of in an area that her soil is sand. And so we need to keep adding in true soil, true dirt, and compost. It really matters what kind of soil you have to be successful at gardening. It isn't just only like you didn't remember to keep watering it. It helps to have a really good soil, and that helps keep the nutrients available for the plant roots. So we do offer mulch, compost, and topsoil delivery, and we do have these types of products that are available. I tend to do a double ground or a triple ground that are available. I do those in the spring, and in the fall, I will do more of, and I don't want to scroll too fast because they do have the decorative different mulches too. I'm kind of more of an earthy outdoor type garden. My garden is definitely not a showcase, but it is definitely full of all the plants and the colors that I love. And everyone has their own styles. Some want it more manicured. And if you want to see the soil, but you want to see a pretty mulch, there's these mulches are available. So there's all sorts of different types that you can do. I do find that it's very popular then to get the leaf mulch in the fall to really help. That's when I let it kind of decompose into nothing. I just want it to decompose into my soil to keep giving those rich nutrients back to my plants. It doesn't mean just because I do it in the fall, and you can do it anytime you want to. But that's when I kind of think that it's a little less, unsightly. You won't notice it as much in the winter. And then I put my kind of a little bit of different mulch over the top. But that's what I do. There's screened compost, which is really nice to use. The enhanced mushroom compost is excellent to use to just really help lighten up a clay soil or bring some more kind of girth into a sandy soil.
Yes. I just want to give my plug for compost. If you have clay soil, which unless you live along the lakeshore, you likely have clay soil. One of the best things you can do for clay soil is to consistently add organic matter. So putting a layer of top dressing it with your beds with compost every year, just to let it incorporate into the clay soil, is just about the best thing you can do for fertility and for lightness, tilth. Mulch, it depends on your bed and your garden. So mulch works really well in some places, and some places it may not be needed. So if you have a real natural native plant garden where you just have lots of plants in there, you don't need mulch, and they wouldn't like it anyways. But if you have a very open bed that is not crowded with plants and there's a lot of space between plants, mulch is really helpful. It helps keep the temperature of the soil fairly consistent. So if the sun's baking on it all day and then at night it's cooler, without mulch, there can be big swings in temperature. This helps keep it a little more consistent, keeps the moisture consistent, keeps weeds down. So the mulch depends on your garden specifically.
Absolutely. And you used a terminology that I'm not sure if people know, top dressing. So when we say we mulch, or we say we put the compost on, we're not digging it into the soil. We don't want to disturb the roots. Top dressing means we put it across the top of it. And then there's also a term called side dressing. So if the plants are already up, you put it around the plants, so you kind of around the sides. But when we say this, we're using these products on established beds. if it were a new bed, yes, you could then incorporate into the soil the compost if there's nothing planted there. But we're more talking about, Mary and I are talking about established gardens where we're trying to add more nutrients without adding chemical fertilizers or anything like that, because the nutrients are coming in the compost and in the wood that will be of the mulch that will be dissolving into and decomposing into the garden.